Have you ever been part of a project that just went completely off the rails? It's over budget, it's way behind schedule, and the final product isn't even close to what anyone actually wanted. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret blueprint that can prevent all of that, a process that happens long before a single line of code ever gets written.
Look, the reality is most software projects really struggle. They get bogged down with delays, costs that just balloon out of control, and a whole lot of frustration. But why is this so common? Well, it turns out the biggest challenge, it's not the programming. Not at all.
The legendary computer scientist Fred Brooks absolutely nailed this decades ago. The hardest, most critical part of the whole shebang is just deciding what to build. If you get this wrong, everything that comes after is built on a foundation of sand.
And that is what creates something we call the expectation gap. It's that massive, painful chasm between what everyone thinks they're getting and what the development team actually delivers. Honestly, this gap is where projects go to die.
And the consequences? Oh, they're severe. We're talking total project failure, costs just spiraling, deadlines getting blown to bits, and clients who completely lose faith in the team. Sound familiar?
So, how in the world do we close this gap? Well, the answer comes down to a disciplined process that's built around one powerful little concept: requirements. So let's break down what that actually means.
Okay, so a requirement is simply a full description of what the system has to do. Now, the key distinction here, and this is the part that trips up so many people, is that it's all about the what, not the how. It's about defining the goal, not the technical roadmap to get there.
Think of it this way. You would never hire a construction crew and just say, "Hey, build me a house," right? No way. You'd give them a detailed blueprint. Requirements are that blueprint for software. Without them, you're basically just closing your eyes and hoping for the best.
All right, now this is where things get really interesting. See, not all requirements are created equal. They actually fall into two totally different but equally critical categories. And understanding this difference, man, it's the key to everything.
So on one side, you've got functional requirements. These describe what the system does. Its features and functions. For example, users can search for an item. Pretty straightforward. But then, on the other side, you have non-functional requirements. These describe how well the system does its job. This is all about the quality and the constraints, like search results have to show up in under 2 seconds.
Most teams, they get obsessed with the functional stuff, the features, but it's these non-functional requirements, the how well part, that are often the real secret to whether a project is a success or a failure.
It's because failing to meet one of these can make the entire system completely useless. I mean, think about it. Who cares if an airplane software has all these amazing new features if it isn't reliable enough to be certified as safe? The how well can be a total deal breaker. These constraints, they force us to ask the really hard questions. How fast does this thing need to be? How reliable? I mean, how often is it allowed to fail? How secure does it have to be? How easy is it for a brand new user to figure out? Getting these right is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so we know we need both the what and the how well. But where do these requirements even come from? You can't just make them up. You have to actually go out and gather this information from the right people.
And those people are called stakeholders. Now, this isn't just the person using the app. Nope. A stakeholder is literally anyone who's impacted by the system in any way, shape, or form. Their viewpoints are the raw materials for your blueprint.
Let's take something we all know, like an ATM. Who are the stakeholders there? Well, obviously the bank customers. But what about the bank managers? The bank staff? How about the engineers who have to service the machine? Or the security managers? Or even the banking regulators? Every single one of these groups has different needs that you have to capture.
So one of the best tools for translating all those different needs into clear requirements is a technique called a use case. It's basically just a simple way to describe an interaction between a person and the system to achieve one specific goal. It's a story.
Let's stick with our ATM. Let's make a use case for withdrawing cash. The actor, that's just the person, is the bank customer. The description then lays out the exact flow. The customer authenticates with their card and PIN, they select an amount, and the machine spits out the cash. This simple structure is incredibly powerful. It transforms this vague idea into a concrete story that everyone, from the customer to the coder, can understand and agree on.
So let's bring this all back around. We started by talking about that nasty expectation gap. We've now looked at the tools to fix it. So how does this whole process actually build a bridge to success?
And this, right here, is the main takeaway. A disciplined, thought-out requirements process is the bridge. It's what connects that fuzzy world of what people want to the hard reality of what gets built, making sure everyone is on the same page from day one.
And here's the thing. Organizations can actually get better at this over time. The capability maturity model shows how. You can climb this ladder from an initial stage where everything's chaos up to a repeatable process, and maybe all the way to an optimizing level. This isn't just about bureaucracy. It's about building a predictable, reliable engine for success.
So you might be thinking, wow, this sounds expensive. Well, maybe. Good requirements engineering might take up about 15% of your development cost. But get this. Studies have shown it can be up to 100 times more expensive to fix a mistake after a product is released than it is to just get it right in the first place.
So when it all boils down, it's this. Investing that time up front to create a rock-solid blueprint is going to save you an incredible amount of pain and money down the road. It is truly the digital world's version of measure twice, cut once.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. For your next big idea, whatever you're cooking up, a new app, a huge company-wide system, whatever, what's that one single non-functional requirement, that one quality, whether it's speed or security or just pure reliability, that you absolutely, positively cannot afford to get wrong?